guys. Welcome to Obscura Undead, your weekly source of music reviews, because it's that time of the week again. I'm Azy.
And I'm Mouse.
And I'm Jet.
Jet is from Push Button Press. You may recognize him from earlier this week. He's still here. He hasn't left yet.
Yay.
And so he's going to be helping us review 3 brand new albums for you. We are going to be reviewing
Moonlight Meadow.
Their debut album, Moonlight Meadow.
Also Carlo Onda with Geister.
Ghost!
And Death Instinct.
Death Instinct.
Yes.
With their debut EP, The Offerings.
So let's get to it. So the first band we want to get into is Moonlight Meadow. They are on Wave Records, and they just put out a full-length album that came out on July 8th. So a month old.
A month old. Yeah, and they are from Poland.
Which is amazing.
Always amazing.
I love bands from Poland. I love bands from that, like...
Who's your
Europe.
favorite Polish band?
Loho. They're Polish, right?
No, I think they're from another Soviet bloc. From like some Soviet bloc country.
Fuck, what's the other Polish band? Okay, Blagi Milkseni. He's Polish.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to pull that out. I thought that was going to be like first thing in your brain.
I forgot because
it.
my brain started thinking about Jacuzzi, but he's Turkish.
Yeah.
They're all in the same like part of my heart. And it kind of reminds me of Polo as well. Polo, which was from Indonesia, but they just have this sound like they're not from a major city that...
Like they're not from, like every single Cure-inspired post-punk kid's dream.
It sounds like they're inspired by other things.
I mean, I know that in Poland, the goth scene in the 80s was a little bit different than it was in, say, Germany. Just in terms of influential bands and such, it was a little bit harder.
They were formed in 2015.
Mm-hmm. And they are a 3-piece ensemble.
Ensemble.
Yeah,
we probably shouldn't try to pronounce these names. I know there's...
Would you like to try to pronounce...
Mashe...
Oh, no, I'm gonna try to have Jet pronounce it.
Okay.
I got it right here for you.
Moshe Mironsky.
Yeah, it's guitarist and vocalist.
Okay, so first of all, I'm having a hard time reading the first name in your handwriting.
I don't think her handwriting is even for people to read. Jacob Kozlowski is on bass, and then we have Damian Steck on drums. So a wonderful, balanced 3-piece.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you need for a post-punk band.
Drums, bass, guitar, and a vocalist.
Yep.
Check.
It is English language, but very thick with an accent.
Did you say English?
Mm-hmm.
English?
Cool.
Is that not right?
English?
Oh my god.
It's okay.
So...
You're forgiven.
Recently we've been seeing, or at least we've been noticing, it's probably been, always there, but we've been noticing a lot more of these post-punk and gothy bands coming out with this very twangy, picked guitar style that kind of sounds like it's like watching like a spaghetti western or something like that with like that guitar style, but
Like Western influences, almost like Nick Cave.
yeah.
It reminds me more of like old surf rock is what it reminds me of a lot. A lot.
I think that that's absolutely true. Like it kind of has that guitar sound of like old surf rock and also like psychedelic like Nico.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I really like what they're doing. I like how the spin that they're putting on a lot of this style. And with all the people that they mentioned that are their influences, what's nice about them having all these influences is I can never pick out one specifically to pull out of that. I can hear a lot of them in there, but I can't pull one out and just go like, oh, it sounds like that. I like how they blend a lot of these styles together.
It did remind me, all of the different styles that they pulled together, it did remind me of like your 90s goth dark wave vibe. Like I just felt like I was in the 90s. And
so that's interesting because I kind of heard like some of like this like mid to late 80s like Sisters of Mercy and Fields vibes. Like it had a lot going on, I think, in terms of like what Jet said, the influences.
Zymox was one of those bands that came to mind. Mellow, moody, for most of their tracks.
Yeah. I love Ronnie anyway, so.
So one of my favorites was how the album opened up with the track Temptation. And the second song was called And Old Dream
And Love.
and Love.
I love that track. That was my favorite track off the whole album.
It was a nice track. It was really cool.
It was beautiful. The deep vocals and that bass line.
That
Tracks.
bass line was very driving. Yeah. I'm going to have to admit to that one. That was they great bass lines. I mean, who's the bass player again? What's his name?
Jacob Kozlowski.
Jacob, you're really good.
Jacob!
Really
if
like
you're
your bass
watching.
lines, dude. Awesome. Seriously.
I enjoyed track 9, which was also called Moonlight Meadow. Can you imagine talking to somebody and being like, I'm listening to Moonlight Meadow by Moonlight Meadow on the Moonlight Meadow release?
Yes, I have definitely done that before. I can't remember what album, but like that has definitely
The
occurred
redundancy
in my
is
life.
beautiful.
A band and a song and an album. And then the 10th track was very interesting. It was called Distorted Mirror.
Oh.
It got super intense. Like in the last half of it, and at the end of the track. And then I think that was it.
I was caught by surprise by the last track, Farewell to Childhood, because it was totally unlike the rest of the album. It was more like a
Was it
lullaby.
like instrumental?
Yeah, it was an instrumental, like very pretty lullaby style track. It was really nice.
It definitely stood out for me when I was listening because of the fact of being instrumental, because not a lot of bands actually put out a lot of instrumentals like that. It's a bold statement to put out an instrumental, number one, to be able to stand behind it, but that was a very good track. It definitely sent chills.
It was very, very pretty. I could see that, putting on to sleep and just being super happy about it. It was
I
very
might do
lovely.
that tonight.
Oh, perfect. You have a new Polish sleepy band.
Oh, I do! So thank you, Moonlight Meadow, for your debut album. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and hope to see more from you.
Well, it wasn't just Mouse. We all thoroughly enjoyed it.
I know, but I was
Yes,
talking specifically to them,
I'm teasing.
giving you my love.
I very much enjoyed that album too. It has a very good cohesiveness across all the tracks that I really appreciated. They tried to keep a lot of the production in line. The mastering was really good on it. I tend to like to comment towards the techniques that they use, being that I work in the bands too, rather than being a fan only. So I really appreciated the recording techniques that they were using and that cohesiveness throughout the entire album.
What were your guys' favorite tracks?
Mine was probably Moonlight Meadow.
I liked Moonlight Meadow a lot too, but I honestly would need to take a look at the tracks again to really realize which one it was, because I was doing a lot of listening through work and everything while I was listening to that.
Gotcha.
Getting into the mood of it more so than worrying about which track was what. So
Oh yeah, I mean that definitely also
really
says
did.
something about the album where you enjoy all of it instead of one thing being just like I need
exactly.
to know what this is.
That's kind of the way I am when I listen. I want to see a cohesive album.
Yeah.
I want something to be good from beginning to end.
Excuse me. Okay. So that was Moonlight Meadow, by Moonlight Meadow, and we are going to talk about a Cold Transmission release next. So I think we should let Jet do the honors and introduce this band.
Okay, so this band is Carlo Onda, and the album is Geister, Ghost. Being a label mate, I definitely wanted to do a little research. Andreas had been sending me some stuff to take a look at and to listen to, and I've actually been listening to Carlo Onda for quite a little bit now. I've been through this album about 5 or 6 times, maybe a little bit more than that actually. I might be being a little underzealous on that one. But I really enjoyed this album. The minimalistic approach I really enjoy, because I don't have that kind of restraint when it comes to writing things. So to actually see the production value where he seems to say on this album or on this track, I'm going to use this, this, and this. And with the excessiveness of VST synths that are out there and how easy it is to get inundated by all the sounds and go, oh, I need this, or no, I need this now. It's kind of nice to see him just honing in on that minimalistic style and just taking like 3 or 4 different synths and saying this is what I'm building out of. because that is literally what we had to do back in the day. You pay $1,500 to $2,000 for a synth back in the 80s. You're going to get every bit of use out of that you can. You pay like $800 for your drum machine. You're going to get every use out of that you can. Things weren't accessible like they are now, because now you can just go start stuff for free on VSTs or go buy something for $100. So it's real easy to get lost.
Or make it on your computer and have every sound in the universe.
See, now if you want to spend a lot of money on synths, you get those like gloves that you can do all of your like work on. Have you seen those?
Yes, the power gloves. I've seen those.
Yeah, they're so
those
cool.
are crazy.
Well, I appreciate minimal synth as well, because you kind of have to focus on the fact that there's a drum machine, there's either one synth or two synths, and that's it. And that means your music has to be beautifully written, perfectly balanced, otherwise it won't work. And these songs are not as easy to write as people think they are.
They're not.
So Carlo Onda has given us a pretty cool album. It's got 14 tracks on there. And he has his title track, Geister, in the middle of the album. I think, a lot of these bands that put out these albums, like the first half of the album is different from the second half.
I felt like every song had a little bit of something different going on, and I thought that was really cool. And I like that it was mixed language too, between German and English.
Yeah.
So just a
wasn't
little
there
bit
one French one in there too?
There may have been. So just a little context. Carlo Onda is from Zurich, Switzerland. So some of the songs are in English, and some of the songs are in German, and I think there might have been a French track on there too.
Yeah, Adieu Tristesse.
Yeah, but one thing that I thought was really interesting about the album is I was listening to it and I was thinking, this sounds like Italo disco that I hear at like Keaton's house.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it reminded me of that.
Absolutely.
Then I read his Bandcamp and I was just like, yo. He talked about being influenced by like 70s Italo disco.
That first track, Kopf oder Saal, reminded me of Geneva Jacuzzi. So yeah, I was thinking about like stuff that Nick from Orlando or Keaton like loves. So we should send this to him if he's not already listening.
Oh, he's probably already listening to it.
He's dancing to it right now.
Probably. But with all of Carlo Onda's songs being different, reading about how he builds how he writes his songs is really interesting. He described them as every song is like a diary entry, and he tries not to overthink it because you don't go back and rewrite your diary. Nope. And what was really cool is you go on his Facebook page and you can read what was going on when he made each song diary entry.
That truly is a diary. That's like a time capsule of your life.
That I did not know about, so I'm definitely going to go back to his Facebook and take a look at that for sure.
It was very, very interesting reading through some of those, and some of them are just like very cryptic, where he's trying to like talk us through the emotions, but it was very interesting.
So I enjoyed the track Autobahn, which was released as like a small single on Cold Transmission earlier in the
like the first track.
No, this is the second track. So this one was Bleepy Bloopy.
Bleepy Blooply.
Yes. Minimal synth banger. And you can go get the, I guess, I can't remember who does the remixes. Some pretty cool
Night
folks.
Haze.
Night Haze. Well, Night Haze does like 2 remixes on this album.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
The last 2 tracks are remixes.
Crazy. But I'd have to go look at the Autobahn. It came out in May. And Icy Men and Buzzcult. Those are the ones who did the remixes of Autobahn.
I love both of those bands.
Icy Men did a remix for us too.
Cool. I don't know if they're actually cool. Icy Men, or if it's just one guy. I have no idea.
I think it's multiple guys. Actually, I have no idea.
We don't know.
Oh.
So I truly enjoyed the song Geister. That is like cold, awesome EBM. And In Your Shadow, which was standout for me.
See, I really loved the less EDM tracks. Like, my favorite track had to have been Shout. I really liked the driving beat on that. It was so nice.
I liked Another Cage.
Another Cage.
That was further down at the end of the album.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
There was a lot to dig into onto this album, just sound-wise. It made it really interesting.
What was nice is he does minimal synth, but then he turns around and he hits you in the face with some guitar-driven stuff too, which I was very happy with. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little unexpected, but I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think
a
that
little bit
there's-
of variety on the album.
Yeah, I think that there is a track on this album for everyone, and I don't think that that ever happens on a release. And all of it feels very natural. It doesn't feel like a guitar song is forced or a song in like English is forced. It's all
The way he
It all
sings
fits.
sounds natural. Like it sounds like perfectly in control. And I think I
And
like.
then he has Cold-Hearted Woman. He's like,
I love his vocals. Oh my god, they're so good.
yeah.
So deep. I mean, I'm
Very
a sucker
good.
for some deep vocals with like a European accent.
And I enjoy that he's a label mate. It's great. Cool Transmissions.
Carlo, come party with us. So that was Carlo Onda. Please make sure to go check him out on Cold Transmission.
Wait, who are they with?
Carlo Onda?
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
who are they
label
with?
on?
Cold Transmission?
Really?
Yes.
What?
So awesome. They're
Why?
Cold Transmissions.
Yes.
Of course we are. Why not?
But then I was
Cold
also gonna
Transmissions
say-
button went upside down.
I was also going to say that they're on Bandcamp as well as Cold Transmission, and we had to make a shout out for them again.
I have a Cold Transmission button too that you can't see.
I know you've got the rare one. Thanks, Andreas.
I
love
have a
you
Cold
too.
Transmission sticker on my underwear.
What?
What?
I have a Cold Transmission sticker on my underwear. Just so I can fit in, you know?
Oh, okay.
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 all right.
I don't need you to.
So we're all wearing Cold Transmission stuff now.
Excellent. Why don't they make Cold Transmission underwear? They make wrapping paper.
Do
They did make wrapping paper, yes.
Yeah.
He sent me a picture of one of his birthday presents, and I saw that, and I'm like, Cold Transmission wrapping paper?
He's just like, I need this.
Yeah, I'm like, I need this definitely.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on, let's talk about Death Instinct. So, I'm glad we're talking about this one last because this one was my favorite.
This one was pretty cool.
This one was very cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is Death Instinct's The Offerings EP. This is their debut EP, I believe.
They're based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Another Pittsburgh band. You know who they've played with?
The Ire?
No, they've played with Bring Her.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They've also played with Ritual Howls.
Oh,
Oh.
Can you believe that?
Well, yes,
they
I
sound
can.
like
Good,
Ritual
yes.
Howls.
They
That
sound like
would be
Ritual Howls.
really good.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I'm just
in that
happy
same
that
way.
they're from the US.
Yeah.
And they're kind of similar to Moonlight Meadow, which we just reviewed.
Mhm.
And they have similar styles because, I mean, you know, like you've got that twangy guitar, you've got like a moody post-punk vibe to it.
Yeah, plus they are a trio. So it's Jonathan M, guitar and vocals, Lynn P on bass, and James Vevers on percussion. Percussion. Which I'm assuming means drums.
It needs drums.
and all kinds of other things that are associated with drums and can be banged on and make little.
That's true. It could be
noises.
like
Tambourines.
those giant
Yes.
gongs.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Those giant gongs.
Absolutely.
All right. So they're very much a post-punk shoegaze band. So where Moonlight Meadows was kind of more like a twangy gothy band, they're definitely more twangy shoegaze. And they have like compared to Moonlight Meadows like very pared down guitars. It's less of a wall of sound. And yeah, it's a bit more post-punk on that. And reminded me really strongly of Nick Cave in like a lot of places.
I'll agree with that. In a lot of places, it did.
Yeah, and
for me as well.
I was so happy because I feel like of all of like the bands that everybody like really loves that sort of like founded the genre, Nick Cave doesn't get enough love. It's probably because of his mustache phase.
Ew.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, he also went through like a Kylie Minogue phase, and he was just doing songs with her. But that's not so bad. She was great, but she wasn't very
Yeah.
gothy.
But Death Instinct. I'd say that
Death
they
Instinct.
have a lot of gothy on them.
You do, because this first song, oh my god.
Secret
Yeah, I
Garden.
agree.
Oh my god.
Secret Gardens.
Oh,
wow.
that snare.
That was man.
This song is
Bass
like
and that snare.
like a perfect moody post-punk anthem. It's like sad and slow progressing and just the pace of it.
The whole EP
I just want to fall
is
into
so
it.
sad, and I loved how sad it is.
It was so sad.
So
and actually,
lonely.
I didn't actually listen to the lyrics enough, but I still got that emotion of it was just beautifully depressing.
It was very lonely feeling.
In a nice way, though. Like,
In a very nice way.
like a rainy day. Like,
Yeah,
no
it
one's
was-
gonna bother you. You're just in your own head with Death Instinct.
Yes, like a lemming. I'm sure that is in no way related.
Lemmings aren't alone.
That was also a Disney hoax, so, you know. The Death Instinct I meant, though.
You broke
Oh.
me.
I thought you were telling me lemmings were a Disney hoax, and I'm just like,
Well, lemmings running off a cliff kind of are. They drove them off that cliff. So Secret Garden was the track that the EP opened with, and then that moved into Nightland.
Nightlands. Yes.
Nightlands, that was the spookiest
Also
track.
very
It's
good.
very haunting.
Spooky.
Very
Haunting
haunting.
is a good way to put it, yeah.
It was very romantic feeling too, though. I really liked it. I know
So-
that romantic describing a song means like jack shit, but it,
Well, one of the things I did like about this band throughout the entire thing is the atmosphere that they imbue with what they've written.
yes.
They definitely create the atmosphere that they want you to be in.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is really good, because there's a lot of people, like Gary Newman has said this in the past, like when people bring in synths, it's easier to create that atmosphere with a synth because you can program to how you want things to sound or how you want people to feel.
Right.
And when you have the guitars really kind of sound like a guitar. And you throw them through effects, and you create that mood, and you create that atmosphere with the effects, but it still has that underlying sound of a guitar. So to create that kind of an atmosphere out of that, when it's been done 8 million times, and you still have that heartwarming effect and sad, haunting
Out
effect,
of just a guitar.
I really
a
enjoy
bass,
that a
and
lot.
drums.
I really do.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a keyboard player as well.
Well, on Hyde, did you enjoy the synths on Hyde?
Yes.
Yeah. That I didn't expect to hear synths, and then we got to
I
that track,
was like, oh.
and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I did not expect to hear that based on what I had read, like was in the band.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it was one of the band members that you mentioned doing the synths instead of... Or were all the instruments there?
They only said bass, percussion, guitars, and vocals, so I was very surprised to hear synths on that third track.
We could ask.
And we could ask. We can go back into our habit of messaging the band while we're recording.
There's no,
But they didn't need that to add like that
yeah.
tension
No,
in.
no, not at all. Not at all.
But it definitely ramped it up to like 12.
But then as we move on from that track, the eye.
That was so yeehaw.
Well, I liked it.
It was great. It was really great.
Oh, I really enjoyed
I don't
the
mean
eye a
yeehaw
lot.
in a bad way. Like it was
No,
really great.
no, understood. I like that. What you call yeehaw, after I've looked and listened to a lot of things you guys have reviewed, I find that to be very kind of surf rock.
Oh no, it
And
absolutely
surf monkey.
totally
So
is. Just
I
in
think
a
of it
goth
that
context.
way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So we're asking them who was playing the synths on Hyde. Is that all we need to know?
Yeah.
You sound so boring.
Just
All
be
right.
like, hi, this is Obscura Undead.
I
We're
did.
reviewing your thing. We're reviewing your album right now.
I
and we
said
need
that
to know this."
verbatim. I just said exactly that. Like, look, we are Obscura Undead and we're reviewing our album right now. Who was playing the synths on Hyde?
That's
We're
perfect.
stupid.
Nice. Get out of my head, Mouse.
You're such a nerd.
I liked
I
the
love
like
you.
super reverb on the vocals on the eye though.
Super reverb is my favorite thing. Sometimes.
always
I'm sorry, I was a little excited about that.
It's good until they bury themselves
Nope,
with it.
Nope, I love it.
But that was really good. He had a very good balance with that between the effects. What was, between the wet and the dry was a really good mix on that. I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
The wet and the dry.
Yes, the wet and the dry, both of them. Yep.
Cool.
We're not
Yeah.
musicians. Does wet and dry mean something?
Okay. Well, wet means when you have when you have an effect, you have the
like
more
when it's-
effect you have is wet. So as you want to add more effect, you make it wetter.
I like it
when you
slappy.
When you want to.
So that's why sometimes stuff sounds like mud.
Yes, that's why some things sound like
I
mud.
see.
Absolutely. So dry vocals would be no effects. Wet would be covered in effects.
Interesting.
Yes.
So like your burritos.
Yes, like your burritos. Absolutely.
See,
Now,
if
A song is a
That is-
burrito.
If
Yes.
everything relates to food, I get it.
it's all wrapped up.
Wet burritos, and they put all the sauce and all the crap on top of it, and then you're like, oh shit, I have to eat this with a fork.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That's
anyway,
perfect. All
Wet
right.
like a burrito.
This
So guys,
was
your
beautiful.
song "The Eye" is wet like a burrito.
And I guess that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. I also want more than 4 tracks.
We need more tracks from you, please.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, we were able to form an opinion a bit with those 4 tracks, but can you imagine if they had an entire album? Like, it would just be
right, because we really do try to avoid 4-track EPs, like, reviewing them, because it's never enough. But on this one, we couldn't avoid it. We couldn't get around it. We had to talk about it.
So they are released through Play Alone Records. Keep an eye on them. Looks like they have a little demo EP that's out on Bandcamp from September of 2016. So they've been around for a couple of years, and
the demo's a little rough. Like, this EP is so,
yeah, I couldn't.
It's masterful. Like, in comparison,
So
it was recorded well.
Maybe this is
the
a
mixing
teaser.
was good on it. Everything had good levels. Everything was very smooth. You could make out every part. Nothing was outshining anything. It was very well
Wet.
blended. No, not wet. It was mixed very well and mastered very well. So, absolutely.
Mouse
Cool.
gives it 10 out of 10 burritos.
Yeah! Wet burritos.
Wet burritos.
So, all right, that wraps up our reviews.
I feel good about the albums this week. I feel good about the albums every week, honestly.
Because if we don't feel good about them, we don't
Why review them?
Yeah. But that doesn't mean if you don't get reviewed, we don't feel good about it. We can only do 3 a week.
Yeah.
So
we've tried doing like 7 a week and 5 a week, and it's just
it's too much.
we can put more focus into 3 albums and actually give them a good listen and a good review than if we had like 7 albums, because then we would just be like, yeah, it was good, go listen to it. And I know I know you want more than that.
I mean, we could conveyor belt like albums through here, but
We could, but then we wouldn't get to talk about like burritos and like all the other things that we talk about.
Yeah, so thank you to our lovely viewers and Patreon supporters for making us talking about burrito music completely possible. So, to start at the top and thank everyone, because it's that time again. Thank you, Skullgirdle.
Thank you, Acid Bitter.
Thank you, Diaciculus.
Thank you, Cadaver Kelly. Thank you, David Zellister.
Thank you, Mason Shiver. Thank you, Junkyard Bat.
Thank you, Libby.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, The Count.
Thank you, Max Shrek.
Thank you, Uncle Fester.
Thank you, Demetria.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, The Count.
Thank you, Ian.
And
We keep saying the same names over and over. It's awesome. We said like The Count like 3 times. We said Demetria.
Thank you, Demetria. Thank you, The Count.
We said everybody.
We did say
Did
everybody.
we say David Zoser?
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes, we
David
did.
Zoser.
Yes,
Yes, you did.
Thank you, Ian.
Yeah, and what's awesome is getting to know everybody on the Discord. I love that we get to talk to them.
Some people don't know that, but if you join our Patreon at a certain level,
At $1.
$1, you get to be on our Discord and you get to chat with us all day long.
All day long. We post a lot of pet videos and
boy.
photos and talk about music. And so it's basically just cats and goth music.
So
That's
then
what life should be about. Cats and Darkwave, cats and goth.
So then I need to send you some videos of Batley then?
Yes. Send me videos of Batley.
Videos and pictures of my Batley. That'll happen. Look forward to that.
What?
And guys, I want to thank the both of you for allowing me to be on again.
Thanks
I
for
really
being on again.
I really appreciate it very, very much. I love the both of these people very, very much, and I'm glad that you guys are listening and watching as well. And really appreciate your support for these guys.
Stop.
Okay. Hate these people. Don't subscribe.
Speaking of which, we're everywhere. We're on your major social media platforms as Obscura Undead, Instagram, Mixcloud, Facebook,
Twitter.
Don't go on our Twitter.
Oh, don't go on Twitter. Never mind. Scratch it.
But yeah, we're otherwise basically everywhere. So see you there. Love you. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.